Welcome. You can love yourself now. That's your job. That's your life goal is to love yourself. We don't always come to do that because that is a journey that we each move through, and it is also self acceptance. And today is August the 10th of 2026, and I'm going to practice more self acceptance because I haven't been doing that really well. Because I couldn't believe myself, as may have happened for you as well. We never know who we're going to become when we come into this world, and I could not have told you that I was going to bring to the world a life changing, world changing philosophy. And then I kept denying it for years. But it happened. And then I can show you today that that is what has happened. And I'm doing this because I'm sending this also to a bunch of business contacts that I've had because I want them to know, because I never knew what I had created. I had never known what I had received and what I had accomplished, because this product, this ability, this system could change our world because it gives any person the ability to understand and know who they are, which is a generational process we each move through depending on how we were trained, what we were taught to believe. And I couldn't believe that this guy spent 37 years, me, downloading a philosophy that could change anyone's life. And if enough people did it, it would change the world. And I kept going through my life denying that it had happened at the same time where I'm experiencing the healing. I'm just saying that's what we do. We don't understand who we are at times. And then we will have periods in our world where we move through generational changes and everything changes, everything shifts. And certain people will know about it, and certain people will understand it. But then if we don't talk about it, nothing changes in the world, doesn't come out to be what we want it to be. And that's what's happened for me. I was a vocal coach. That's who I thought I was going to be. First part of my life, I was lost at everything. I couldn't figure out a single thing, and I kept screwing up so many things. But that's because I was classified incorrectly. Something was wrong with me. That's we all have that kind of feeling within us. Something might be wrong with us. Instead of understanding we're evolving, and as humans, we might develop something new, and maybe we could accept that and go in a new way. But we're not all going to do that. I just saw something today. This is still August the 10th. We will have different experiences in life. I grew up from birth with all kinds of difficulties and problems and physical things, even at birth. Then later on, when they developed vaccines, because I had every disease, every childhood, everything you can possibly think of, and I kept suffering the consequences of those later in life. As we found out, that's what happens with childhood diseases. But then we developed things to know how to change it, and those were vaccines. And so when that happened, I was so pissed at my parents because I thought, why couldn't you have lived earlier when these vaccines would have been around and I wouldn't have had to go through all of this stuff that I went through? But see, that's what we do all the time. We develop things and we learn how to operate as humans, but then we're afraid of using them because it's unknown. And that's what happened for me. I went into my consciousness and I developed the ability to understand the architecture of our human brains, our human consciousness. And the funny thing was, what came out of that? We're all the same. That was what my entire life of 75 years was meant to bring to the world. We're all the same. But we will develop in different ways, but we have the ability to change our development in any way that we desire because we have consciousness. Our consciousness can be changed, and we have the ability to do it, except we may become afraid. Every difficult thing that has happened in our lives is because we were afraid. Every difficult thing that has happened in the world is because too many of us were afraid, because that's how we create things collectively. And so when I'm told all of these years ago, 6 years ago, that the world was going to change, I had all the information, and anyone who did this work, they would change. That was too challenging for me to accept and believe because, again, no one had done it. But now it's been documented so we can all see it. And that's what I put up on my page. But again, I must change because consciousness is not something we all want to look at. We don't want to do that shadow work. We don't want to look at ourselves. I certainly didn't. I didn't want to look at the mess I had made because I couldn't accept myself. That's what happens. I couldn't accept that I had developed the first verified personal development system where I should have been a millionaire because it will give any person what they want. Now, you will doubt that, as I did. And I keep being proven wrong because I doubted it for years. And every person I've met, it's worked. Every person who's used it, it's worked. The only reason it didn't finish because you give up. And I was giving up. I just didn't do more. I was too shocked at what the results of it that first came. And then you'll hear all the stories because I was told, just like you probably, you've got this potential. You're supposed to do this. And then I couldn't. And you wonder, why did that happen? Because you didn't change your consciousness. That's all. And I said in the very beginning that when I was starting to do this work years ago, I said, I've developed the most valuable thing any human could want. And it was control of your consciousness. And people will look at me and think that's not possible. 10 years ago, I said it was possible because I was doing something called overcoming everything because I knew I had done that. But then that belief, that acceptance from others was challenging, and acceptance from me as well, because this hasn't happened. I didn't do channeling. People, you must know this. I was not doing public channeling before that. I only did it because I was told I had all this information. I was told exactly what was happening in the world and what would be happening in someone's life. And it's been accurate. No one's seen it before, so I don't expect a lot of people to get it because we will keep suffering. That's what happens. We'll keep doing the same thing over and over again and keep suffering, and that's what I was doing. But I wasn't showing people who would want to be their best self because so many of us are scared and afraid, and we'll just sit back. And then I'm watching things occur that are happening just today. I'm thinking, this shouldn't be happening. But we know the difference. That was the other thing. We're going to get in touch with all of our contradictions, all the things that we said. We were supposed to be these folks who were going to do everything, and we didn't do it. And that was me. And you can read all of it. So I'm not saying anything new to you because we've all done the same thing. It's just, when are we going to change? And I'm changing now. I'm going to show you something else that I put together for today because no one had seen this before. And when you do something extraordinary, it's hard for people to accept. And then as I put up for talking about people like Nietzsche and all these other folks and Copernicus, because no one understood what they were doing. And that was me. No one understood what I was doing. And some of them met their demise basically with no one understanding what they had done, and they could have had all this wealth. Well, I'm changing that. I'm going to change that dichotomy because I have the most valuable thing, and I'm going to start charging for it like I should have been. But I just wanted you to know what was available. There's no reason for any person on the planet to suffer or struggle. That's what I discovered. It was freaky to me too, that I could sit down and receive information that was connected to you and your life. And you've seen it happen. I had something just this morning where someone came in because we understand more about our universe and energy and planets and galaxies and quantum mechanics and all those things. And Wilhelm gave us all of it. I just didn't know I was doing it. I couldn't have. You can't build a philosophy that produces results unless you live it and do the scientific research, and that's everything that I've done. And then it had to be shown further because as we develop new techniques and we have technology. And so what they told me to do today is say, you have artificial intelligence now. Maybe you could use it. Because see, if you take the artificial intelligence and look at Wilhelm's work and check it out, on anything, on astrological events, astronomical, galactic events, whatever you want. And you'll find information in there that I had no clue I was downloading. And I'm saying that because I published some things that I didn't know I was downloading the order of the universe and your place in it, but I did. And so now it's all explained, and that's why I could heal and go in a different direction. If you want to know about longevity, this would do it as well, because when you take all the stress off and you start doing what you want to do, things shift in your body too. That is mind body healing. And with this work, I've done things that no one could believe before, but I will be documenting it and creating papers about it, which is I've been advised to do. What I'm saying is that there's no reason for you now not to have the life you want to have, because it's within you. I struggled and suffered to bring it to you. That's really what happened. But I'm going to show you this, because this is an ability that I developed that I had no idea, and so now I'm going to honor it and start doing more. Not everyone will want this work, because we don't all want to know our potential. That's just what it is. You've heard it all your life. Why aren't you living up to your potential? Because you're afraid. That's all. That's the only reason. I was afraid. That's why I wrote the book. And today is August the 10th of 2026. And what Wilhelm said, you have artificial intelligence now. And this is why I was sent to change our world. We all were. I was just given a way for that to happen. But just like you, I said that couldn't have possibly been, and we will keep denying ourselves. Roger was sent to change your world. We recognize that many of you will have difficulty accepting that statement as he did. But today we will change the minds of many, including our messenger, and especially his family. Like you, Roger didn't always believe that still small voice you each possess. If you had, your lives and world would be far different. We will aid you now. It is Sunday, August the 9th, 2026, and Roger thought he was done with his normal posting as we had him reveal more of the architecture of human consciousness and its development, which he has lived and documented. Yet, even with his lived and demonstrated results, so many of you continue to struggle, suffer, and experience the type of lack you wanted to change now. Your only difficulty will be belief in yourselves and your guidance, and all we have provided. Now we will show you, so our messenger might accept his abundance, so he might aid more of you. Your value increases as you live, but you must become willing to love yourself. The challenge you each will have is accepting who you become. Our messenger fought us every step of the way, but now he is healed and can claim the title of bringing the first verified personal development system to the world. You don't have to take our word for it, as you have artificial intelligence now. We have also always said we have given you everything you needed to live a beautiful life. You'll not embody this immediately, as that is not how consciousness develops or becomes a stationary higher place. Our messenger has done that, but he, like you, did not move and charge what he could have. That is also why we had him post the story of Nietzsche and Copernicus. Please follow along. And as you go through this workbook, you will find something extraordinary that you hadn't seen and no one had, which makes it difficult for all of us to accept, especially me. What follows are the Wilhelm messages received on August 10th across 18 years, 2008 through 225, reproduced exactly as they were given. Each entry is followed by 2 reflection questions and space to write your response. There is no need to rush. Read each message slowly, more than once if it calls for it, and let your own answers surface before you write them down. The value of this archive is not in any single date. It is in the coherence you will notice building across years. And as you will see, as you go through the messages, they progress. And the one in 2008, there's a cycle that when these began, which has been proven in our sciences that we come to understand and interpret. Um, but this is what you needed to know. You have never failed at anything in your life experience until you believe that you have. And I almost got to that place because I thought this isn't going to work until it did. And that's what each person will experience and come to understand if you decide to become yourself. And sometimes it's challenging. I had to take all this time. You don't have to. And that's the thing that I have to move beyond myself. You live in a benevolent, look that up, universe. Now, the reason that's there, I'm being completely transparent. I have a direct connection, and you'll see it all through the messages. No one's seen this before because no one, even a channel, has never done information this way that was connected to what was happening in our world, and having me move through the process and heal at the same time. It was later described when, with artificial intelligence, they said what this was showing how human consciousness develops over time, over linear time. They just gave it to me in a different way. And that was obviously what I was meant to do in this lifetime. You observe your physical life through your perception, and you experience your physical life through the perspective you choose to hold. And that is one that's challenging for us to get to, but you will see how you will be changing. All of this is neuroscience, it's cognitive behavior training, and I had no idea I was receiving it, and I had no idea that it was all aligned with what's happening in the universe. And that's what came about. And so, and as you will go through all of these, there is a little, I'm going to put these up for tomorrow, because tomorrow messages will be, now you can love yourself. That is the path that we each move through, and you will have all of that. Then, you must hear this. This is a session that was done on August the 8th of 2022. And I did not remember it, and it'll blow you away. I am saying that because I have to be honest about the fact that I connect with universal consciousness, and it's a direct connection, and I'm not present when it's happening, but the information is always accurate and corresponds to what's occurring in our world. And that's why this is different, and no one had done it, so it was challenging for most people to believe it, even me. But now it must, because if you don't believe yourself, nothing changes, and that's what I have to do. My childhood dream got handled, though, as yours will. We don't know what it's going to be or how it's going to come about, but when I was a kid, I said, I want the world to be better. And that seemed like a ridiculous thing for any person to say. Except I hated what I was seeing in the world because I was witnessing assassinations and all sorts of horrible things. I thought, oh, the world would be better if more people could become better themselves, if they could understand who they were, if they could reach this higher state of acceptance of themselves, we wouldn't need to do some of those other things. Exactly the thoughts that I had. And I thought that doesn't make sense. And then when I was told I had it, I ran from it. We all do this. I'm just saying, no matter what you're building, developing, or creating. And until you can accept that, life doesn't go well. And so I'm accepting now. And I'm going to have fun, because when you accept, you can, no matter what else is going on around you, you're enjoying yourself because now you're honoring the reason you were born. I couldn't do that for the longest time. You'll see all of it, and you'll hear it as well, because it's all in this. So now I'll show you what I did so that no one on the planet will be disillusioned as to what has happened and what I have received and accomplished and what Wilhelm has given us, and why no one on the planet would ever need to suffer a struggle if they went through this work. And I can say that unequivocally because I know it's true. It was challenging to say it, but now I have to. And here is the message. Your life operating instructions, a complete guide to changing your life. The only way we get anything in life is when we change. And that happens over time and also in society. What if everything you've ever needed was already inside you? What if your struggles were not signs of failure, but signals pointing you toward your true path. And that was true for me every step of the way. And I kept resisting it in every illness I had and every failure. It was because I was resisting becoming myself. So I do know, and I do know that you have greatness within you that you could access. And that's everything. This work gives you everything you want, because everything you want is to know who you are, live your purpose, move through any difficulty, any challenges, anything. Years ago, when I discovered this was done I think about a year ago, I'm not sure, but I had to, when I just started to discover that no one had done this, and I'm like finding all this information and I'm continuing to heal and go in a different direction. I said, I'm a freak of nature. There was no other way I could explain it, because I hadn't seen it before. And I kept moving through medical things and going and getting better and going to doctors. And then I thought, I'm not even having colds or flus or anything anymore. And I said, that was a reflection of my grandmother. I think because she could do that, I didn't think it was possible. Your Life Operating Instructions, a complete guide to changing your life, living, evolving into your best self, and contributing to a better world. If we don't understand that that is our responsibility, we're not living the lives we're supposed to have. Now, and this, as you go through it, the simple truth at the heart of everything, we often spend our lives searching for something to fix us, heal us, or make us better. But the core philosophy of this work begins with a radical, simple truth. You are not broken. And I had to live a life where I was broken all the way through it, lived it, and then found the answers for you so you never have to. And the only thing that I did not heal in what we're meant to do in this lifetime, and especially in the United States, is money. And you'll hear all of that in there, and you'll see it today as well. That's why people said, well, why would you be charging so much more? And that would be because I've created the most valuable thing someone could own, and I wasn't honoring myself. That's what happened, and that's what I'm changing. And I couldn't have done it because I didn't know. I know now, and you will as well. I put so much information there, you'll never get through it all because I've just done so much. But will tell you one thing though, and I said it earlier. Go to the website, Any Advice for Today, and just search for something you want to know. They told me I had an encyclopedia of personal development, self-actualization, and ascension tools that no one would ever finish. And I started doing a search there, and I was blown away. And if you do it, you'll see for yourself. I never lie. I have to tell the truth. I can't tell. That's the thing that's so terrible for me, because I have to always tell the truth, and I couldn't give people something if I didn't know that it worked. And I had to spend my whole life causing healing to show you, yes, you can get there. And so could the world if we decided to. That's all. Thank you so much for being here. Please enjoy this, share it with others. And the work will always be here. The difference is going to be it'll be a different rate, because I'll be honoring what it was. And I'm going to open up for more private clients, because more people probably want that. And that's what I should have been doing, because I had one guy who was a channel and all that, charging $500 an hour. And I go, but you're not giving them all the stuff I'm giving them. That's what we do. So that's why things will change. You must honor who you become, all of us. And that's what I'm doing now. Thank you so much. I will see you soon.